Another Innokin tank. Wait a minute. 200 watts? Hey guys, Ben Vic here, back with another review. Today we are looking at this, the Innokin Scion tank. A brand new sub-ohm clearomizer from Innokin. Scion's a great name actually, because Scion means born of a notable family. And this really is it's been a long time in the waiting. The iSubs were excellent tanks in a place in time, you know, and they've improved and improved and improved them, and they've taken them as far as they can. But this is their new big wattage tank, their first big wattage tank. 24mm diameter, 3.5mm capacity. Comes in stainless steel, black and white. And it comes with two coil heads, a 0.3 coil head, which can go, which they recommend between 100 and 200 watts, and it also comes with a 0.5 head that they recommend between 70 and 110 watts. So that is what this little puppy is. Let's go down to the table and take a really good look at it, yeah? Then we'll come back up top for some pros and cons of this. Please, okay. Alright guys, here we are up close with the Scion tank from Innokin. Here is the packaging. This is the stainless steel version. Nice little breakdown on the back, and it warns you about, you know, juicing those coil heads before you pop them in. I think that's a very wise move indeed. Do that if you are getting one of these, you know. Pre-wick those puppies. Right, okay, so this is what you get inside. You get your tank, you get a fanny band, you get a spare coil and spare glass, which is everything you need. Really good. Okay, so let's get this coil head out of here. I'll show you those when we get there. Right, okay, so this is the tank. This is the Scion stainless steel version. The one I'm showing you up top is the black version. So top fill here. You grab the drip tip like this, and you turn it like that. The first that's literally because I've just taken this out of the packet that it was so tight. It's usually absolutely fine. There we go. That is how you top fill it. No problem at all, no danger at all, and I haven't had any leaks or floods or anything like that from filling it. Let's tighten that back up. When you're done, happy days. Okay, if we look down here, you can see we've got all the glass there. We've got the coil head inside. We've got our airflow here. Massive airflow, two-sided. Excuse me. Two-sided there, and we've got a pin. Now, in Innokin fashion, it's not a very protruding pin. I do not recommend this on a hybrid mod. Turning this like this opens up our coil. And as you can see, this is our big shiny coil. This is the coil that can do 100 to 200 watts, and as you can see, it's like a dual twin series parallel coily type there, two strands going round there, and loads of lovely organic cotton. To remove the coil head and swap it out, you just unscrew it like that at the base. No problem there at all. And there we go. That is that. So that was the tank with the big coil. This is the 3-coil affair here. I've been using this quite extensively. Got about 30mm through here, still working absolutely fine. But as you can see, this one is 70 to 110 watts, and this one it's 6 coils effectively. No, it's 3 coils effectively, like that. And it wicks like that, and again, no flooding, no leaking, no dry hits. That has been perfect. And as you can see, I've had no dry hits because the cotton is still in very good condition, and so is the wire after 30mm. So I do think these are going to last really well. So that's that. That's that coil head, and that is the Scion. Let's come back up top. Okay, guys, that was the Scion. Down low. 2 coil heads. This is the big boy. This is that big old coil one that does 100 to 200 watts. I've currently got it at 100 watts and it's vaping like this. Okay, So let's go through the gears with this. 150 watts. Let's do it. Really starts coming into its own at 150. Flavour's better at 150, I would say. I've actually been happily rocking it at 100 watts, you know. Yeah, 150. Let's go even higher. Let's go 180. 180 in the Scion. As you can see, it is more than comfortably handling it. I wonder what I want to actually be at. 133, I think. Yeah, so as you can see, it's completely comfortably handling that wattage. So very good indeed. It can handle that wattage completely. Now there's two coil heads. There is this one. This one is the 0.5 one. 3 coils in there. And this one is 70 to 110 watts. I use that at 80 watts. I've gone right through this coil head, about 30 mil, and then I swapped it out because I needed to swap it out for to test the other coil head. But it was still going strong at 30 mil, so I think that they are going to last very well. And I showed you that coil up close. So yeah, that's that coil head. That's my preferred coil head, I must admit. I prefer that one a lot to this one, just because it's more in my league, and I think the flavour's better on it as well. 80 watts I've been knocking that one around at. This is the big boy coil. Now, the design of this coil, very much like the V-Tank from OBS, the design of this coil head is one huge wide coil, and although that does give you that massive airflow that you want, and it does allow that massive power that you want, I do think that design does not lend itself to flavour, because that is cavernous, you know. You're just whipping the air straight through before it's even getting all cloudy and nice in there, you know. So I do think the flavour is better in this one, but if you want the clouds, go for the big one. But obviously you get the choice of both. You get both in the pack when you get the pack, so you can take your choice and then buy some coils accordingly. One more drag. Yeah, 133 is about right for me. So what's it like? Pros and cons. Okay, I've got some really strange cons for this one. First one's just a little thing, just a little tweak, a little upgrade they could do. I don't know if you guys remember the Troll RTA. That has a very similar filling method to this, in as much as you turn the drip tip and the cap comes off. Now, both excellent ways of doing top fill, no problem at all. However, this one has metal threading inside the Delrin drip tip. And I think that works so much better than just requiring the rubber or plastic to do the actual threading. That one threads, works so much better. I feel that one will last for ages. I'm not sure how long this will last. It will last, but not forever. I think that using metal for threading is always a better thing to do. So I think that the top bit could be a thing. Also, with this drip tip, you're tied to this drip tip pretty much. You know, there's not really a way of using any other drip tip because it's tied into that top fill. I actually don't mind the drip tip for what you're actually doing. I think it's very adequate indeed. So the drip tip's fine, but you cannot change your drip tip, so be aware of that. The other things are maybe a bit squiffy. 200 watts. This tank can handle 200 watts. You just saw it then. To my knowledge, Innokin don't have a 200 watt mod. They have a 100 watt mod, but they don't have a mod that can handle this tank, if you like. So I think that Innokin, you know, now needs to take the step into the old 200 watt mod market. I think that would be the next logical step for them. Maybe a Scion mod or something like that. I don't know what they want to do. Do what you want to do, Innokin, but it seems crazy to have a tank that can go higher than any of your mods. On a similar note, 24mm diameter, I support that. I think that's a good idea, but that sort of just make it not look perfect on the MVP4. It makes it slightly overhangy on the MPV4. The one thing it does look quite good on is the cool fires. the cool fires. However, with the cool fires, you know, you've only got 3,000 mAh. The plus stops at 70 watts. The 100 plus, it's 100 watts. So again, you're hitting that threshold. So really, there isn't an Innokin mod perfectly designed for this tank. So that's a thing that they could look at. Final slight. Okay, two more very little ones. It would be nice to see an RBA head for this. Goes without saying, I think. If Innokin get chance, make an RBA for this, that would be very interesting indeed. The Cleto really thrived. You know, the success of the Cleto was built on a lot of factors, but one of the key factors was the fact it had a very nice RBA head. So an RBA head would be a positive for this, I think. Very lastly, and it does annoy me when people talk about this, but I think I've got to mention it, because you're doing the big power, because you're doing the big wattage, obviously you are going through juice, and 3.5 mil capacity will not last too long at 150 watts, 200 watts. So obviously that's, you know, it's a thing. You're going to be refilling it if you're using it all day. If you're using it as a work vape or something, you're going to be refilling it, but you are for all of these things, aren't you? So 3.5 mil capacity is quite small for a 200 watt tank. I don't mind it, but be aware you will be refilling it. Okay, so positives. Positives. Okay, I'm just gonna lay it out there. This is as good as the V tank. It is as good as the V tank. It is good as the TFV8. I haven't tried the TFV12. I mean, it just goes higher in wattage, doesn't it? Really. So I don't know, but it's definitely as good as the V tank and the TFV8. It's as good as those. Definitely. They have nailed it with this high wattage tank. No mistakes at all with this. I think it's very, very good. I would even go as far as to say, with this coil at 80 watts, the flavour's a bit better. I think the flavour's a bit better. Also, it is Innokin, so it's going to be widely available. It's really well made. And the coil heads won't be too expensive. They'll be very easy to get hold of. So I think it's a very solid contender if you are looking at a high wattage sub-tank. If you're looking at high wattage sub-tank, do check this out and do put it into the mix with all those things, because it is very, very good at what it does. One more drag. No leaking issues, no flooding issues, no dry hits. I've had absolutely no trouble with either of the two coils that I've gone through. So really good, a really, really good sub-tank. Innokin have smashed it with this. I'm looking forward to seeing their big power mod. That'll be interesting as well. I've been Vic, and I'll see you again soon.